All right, you saw the title. We are making faux wax seals out of hot glue. So what you're going to need is hot glue sticks. You can pick clear or colored. Colored glue sticks means you don't have to paint the end results. You're going to need a hot glue gun, a bowl of water, some paper towels for catching the glue excess, a silicone surface or a non-stick surface that you can work glue onto and it won't stay stuck. And then for the design itself, I have wax seal stamps like these. You can also find rubber stamps for pretty cheap. You can use buttons like these that have nice designs. Or the easiest option, if you don't want to buy anything, is coins. But be careful with coins because they have they have a large surface, so results can tend to be a bit flat, like this. And to get a proper border like this, you need to use an excessive amount of glue. Also, I don't need to say this, I think, but hot glue is really hot and it sticks to your skin. Be careful when working with this. And especially with coins, since they're metal, they will heat up, so just be cautious. To make the seals proper, you're going to have your silicone surface, and on the side you will have your water. You can take your hot glue gun and you're going to put in a decent amount of glue in a little pile like this. And first up, I'll showcase the seals. I have paper towels down here, so I'm just putting that here. And we're going to use this seal with a little holly leaf. Press it down, kind of wiggle it around a little bit so that the glue seeps out the sides. You can kind of see, so it creates a nice edge. And now leave it standing until the glue is relatively solid, so it might take a couple seconds. Meanwhile, you can start piping the next one. In this case, we're going to do one of the buttons. We are going to do this button here with a little chain link. Pipe in a little bit. Now in the case of this button, it's made out of metal. It's unpainted, so I'm not afraid of any paint coming off. But since it's metal and it doesn't have a lot to grab onto, I am just going to let it sit, unlike this one, which just got done solidifying. It lifts right off. You can peel off the excess. And to finish the process of it cooling, you can just twist it a bit in the water, dry it off on the paper towel, and then you can just peel it right off. This is what it's going to look like. This is not fully solid, it's mostly solid, so we're going to put it aside to dry. In the case of the button, we're just going to leave that one. And I'm going to show you for the coin. You are going to want for coins a stick. In the case, this is the end of a paintbrush. So just pipe on a really good amount because we're going to be using one of the larger coins. And if you think it's too much, it's not. It'll just create a bigger border. So go nuts, honestly. Like this. That should be enough. And we are going to do... Which one do I want to do? I have a poppy design here from a commemorative coin. This. And I'm going to place it on it. And I'm going to press down with the stick to avoid burning myself. You can see this creates a massive border. And you want to press it down really hard. And you will be able to tell when the glue is cured because it's going to go from looking this translucent to much more opaque. Do not touch it until it's fully opaque, especially if it's a metal surface, just to avoid burning yourself. All right, so those are going to be curing in the background. We're done making these for now. I'll show you I'll show you how to prime them, because fun fact, or not so fun fact, hot glue, like this, does not like paint. See how smooth it is? This is a super smooth surface. Nothing is going to adhere to it. No paint is going to stick to it once it's cured. So to paint it, I recommend surface preparation. So in this case, this is Gesso, or Gesso, however the fuck you pronounce it. And this creates a nice grit on the seal that allows paint to stick to it. So in this case, or these cases, these are painted examples. This is just a flat color, so gray and green. But on the back, this gray one, you can't see it as well, but this green one, I didn't paint the back of it because it's not necessary. But when painting, make sure to get the edges, because if you don't, it's going to look a bit unclean, like this. Cleaner examples, like this one, you can kind of see that once it's going to be pressed on, it's not going to show the imperfections. And what's very fun about these seals is you can add extra decoration to them. So once you've had your flat color, it's been put on, you can use a different color and brush on a bit of additional texture. So in this case, this is a burgundy magenta color, and on top we have this nice metallic coppery color. And in the light, you can kind of see that it's applied a bit everywhere. So the seal just looks a bit more shiny, but the extra details just show up more. To achieve that effect, I'm not going to show you how to paint them because it's literally slather them in paint and it will dry. In a case like this, I'll use a simple one, this here. You're going to want, I prefer metallics, but you can use pretty much any color. You are going to want, let me pick out, let's say a nice bronze color. You're going to take a little bit of paint and kind of stamp it down on a paper towel to remove most of the excess. Take your seal, and then you're going to brush it on very gently. This can take many coats, but this means that only the higher parts are going to get painted. Because if you have too much pigment on your brush, it's going to smear everywhere. It's not going to look quite as nice. Then you can go in for a little more paint. Tap it down. Apply more. Like this. And after a couple layers, it's going to build up really nicely and it's going to contrast and look very striking. The water can also be used to clean off your paintbrush. All in one craft. All right, our two others should be done now. Let me pull them out very carefully. So this is the button. You can kind of see it here. Let me peel it off. You can use a bit of force. There you go. And you're going to see it's a bit unclean, but you can just pull off these excessive strands. And if you don't like how the edge came out, you can just cut it off. Now for the coin. Like this. The design's a bit more subtle, but it's there. There you go. You can kind of get a better look there. All right. Now, what are you going to do with these seals? How do you apply them? So you're going to have your prop, such as like an envelope here. And there's two ways, well, three ways to apply these seals. Sorry, I had to adjust my glue gun. So you can adhere it with a little bit more glue, or, sorry, what you can do is take one of these seals. You see the back is unpainted, and the edge of your gun is going to be very warm. You can just apply it with little circles, and this should melt the hot glue. There you go. Just make sure not to go through the seal because the backing tends to be very thin, and careful of your fingers. Like this. There you go. And then you can just apply it. There you go. So now it's affixed, and if ever you want to remove it or reuse it, you can just peel it right off typically. The other way, you can just put in a bit more hot glue. Typically, on most paper surfaces, that'll be plenty. And you can just seal your little envelope like this. Adds a bit of flair to any prop. And if you're working on a surface, like say a ribbon or a laminated surface, and the glue cannot adhere to it, you can use super glue without too much issue. I think that's everything you need to know about this craft, but if you have any questions, just let me know, honestly. Alright, enjoy.